A couple of weeks ago, I went out to Cerro Gordo. I met Chris from Crosstalk Solutions, and we met and we went to Cerro Gordo to network up the ghost town. If you're not familiar with the ghost town, there's a guy there named Brent who is also a YouTuber who bought this ghost town in Cerro Gordo, who then is converting it into kind of a destination, and it's way out in the middle of nowhere. And I mean it. It's like 4.5 hours from Reno or 3 hours from LA, out in the desert, 10,000 feet up in the air, in the mountains. And it's just this tiny old mining town that's abandoned. So anyways, I spent a lot of time learning how to network, learning how to long-range network. I terminated Cat 6 for the first time. I know how to terminate shielded Cat 6 now. And I know how to do a lot of other things. So anyways, I'm not going to go too much into detail about that because I will have a video coming on that soon. And I guess I'll talk about it then because things will come up. But anyways, that's where I've been. And after that, then just recently, I just got back. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. Time is so weird right now because of travel. But I went to the UniFi World Conference, and that was pretty cool. I'm going to be honest. That was pretty cool. I really can't talk about anything that I saw there, and I couldn't even really share anything there. It was kind of odd being there as a creator, but I couldn't create. But they have a lot of cool stuff coming, and I will say, like, it was impressive on the breadth and the depth that they're going into. It's crazy if you think about it already. You know, they're doing, obviously, networking. They're doing physical security. They're doing access. They're doing identity. They're doing music now with their Play. And I don't want to name off other things just in case I name the wrong one. But they're doing so many things across such a wide breadth of area in technology. And then they're going really deep on some stuff too. So anyways, it was cool to be a part of that. It was cool to be a part of that. They invited me. I paid my way there. They gave me one free night stay in a hotel. I paid for the other one. But other than that, it was pretty cool. I got to meet all kinds of people. I mean, Tom was there. I got to meet Cody. Two Codys I got to meet. One from Unified IT and Cody from Mac Telecom Networks. Yeah, Chris was there again from Crosstalk Solutions, and I got to meet so many people. Bogdan. I don't know. The list goes on, and then tons of people who are just like in the community. This was my first like tech event, and it was the first time like I've ever had like people en masse like recognize me. So that was kind of weird. I think my smile muscles were like hurting after that because I was just like I don't know. One, I smile a lot in general. But two, it was just so nice. Like people were so nice there. And it was just funny, just, taking all these pictures and people recognize me. And, it seems like all the people I met had a certain reason. They followed me or subscribed to me in a certain way that they discovered me. And a lot of them were quick to point out videos that they liked that helped them. And I was just like, man, this is too much. This is like, they were all like pumping me up. I was like, I need to humble myself again. I am pretty humble, I think, in general. But I was like, man, this is, it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. So anyways, I was impressed. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people. Took a lot of pictures with people, and then got to hear what Ubiquiti has to say about their future and what they think the future should be in this space. So I don't know. I've never been to any other conference like this. I've been to a lot of developer conferences, some infrastructure ones, and some Microsoft hosted events, lots of those, but never one that was, this small. And focused on one company and their products and their vision for the future. So it was pretty cool. Like, it was pretty cool stuff. So anyways, I got to hear lots of people talk from the company, got to hear about their plans, and then got to see one thing that I noticed too is that one thing that people pointed out was that, Ubiquiti had made promises in the Chicago UWC, I think, I don't know, half a year ago, something like that. I didn't go. And a lot of people were saying, oh, that's awesome because they delivered on all of those promises. And so if the people there were saying, wow, that's a pretty good track record. And they're announcing a lot of things or discussing a lot of things at this past one in Miami. And they were saying they hope that they also deliver on those. And so it's going to be pretty cool. Lots of things coming. Anyways, I hate to be so vague, but I mean, they straight up said like, hey, no photos, can't talk about it, can't live stream, and can't record. And so, me as a creator over there was like, okay, I guess I'm just a viewer now. And so I think taking that pressure off for me to like create content and come up with these cool things and talk about cool things, taking that pressure away and just like letting me relax and hear what they had to say, I think was the right thing to do. And, I would have loved to create even just a quick overcap video of it, but I can't. But I think taking away those constraints and having me just be a participant like everyone else, I think was actually, I'm glad they did it. Looking back, I'm like, sweet, I got to like sit down, listen, and hear what they had to say. So anyways, happy Saturday. That's a lot about what's been going on with me. I'll have, my Cerro Gordo stuff coming up soon. I have like 1 or 2 videos in between that. But hopefully I'll get it out soon. It's gonna be a big one. I might actually break it up into 2 because there's kind of 2 stories to tell there. There's 2 stories to tell there, and I want to tell them differently. There's just so much content too. It was so awesome. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that. I'm super glad to be home though. I'm really glad to be home. I don't travel much, and then like I go, and stay in the desert for 6 days, come back for like 3 days, and then go to Miami for 3 days, and now I'm back. So I'm kind of a homebody. So I'm a homeland body, I guess. I just like to be home. So anyways, great to travel, but it's always great to come home. So today is a little bit different. So I drink bubbly waters a lot. People always say, hey, what's that bubbly water flavor? I don't drink alcohol, so I figured, hey, yeah, and I might as well just share it. And so today is watermelon lime sparkling water. So this is Good and Gather. If you don't know, Good and Gather is a Target brand. It's an in-house brand, and they do this really good. So I'm not a huge fan of like watermelon. I love watermelon. I love watermelon flavored candy, but I always feel like people can't do natural watermelon right. And then when you do have it by itself, it's just kind of like, you kind of want to amped up. And so I think this is done right. This is watermelon and lime. So you get that watermelon kind of, a florally kind of taste and scent. And at the end, you got the lime just biting you, that sharp kind of bite at the end. So I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Is it my favorite? No. But is it good to kind of mix it up? Absolutely. All right, guys, let's go. Budney, how's it going? Trevor, we read that. Cyberknight, how's it going? So Cyberknight says, I'm working on a complete network revamp. I like where this is going. TrueNAS dedicated server, 10 gigabit Ethernet, struggling with TrueNAS and StoreJ to restore my crap at the moment. I can tell how it's going. I can tell how it's going. But, dude, man, awesome that you're redoing your network. I'm getting close to there too. I'm going to be flattening a couple of things and changing a couple of stuff. But man, dedicated TrueNAS server, that's awesome. I went that route a while ago. Do I regret it? No, I'm actually kind of glad I went back to physical. We'll see if it lasts forever. It probably won't last forever. But then StoreJ to restore all my crap at the moment. Yeah. So I hope you get it restored okay. I hope you do. Gumshoe Noir, how's it going? Howdy from East Mesa, Arizona. Howdy from Minnesota. How's it going? Sigor, how's it going? Hey, everyone. Yakto, taking a break this weekend, out sick. Ooh, YWS is closing up shop. No. YWS is the CEO is out sick, which sucks because I have 3 new servers sitting in the garage, including an HPE Moonshot I really want to play with. That is wild. I think that's their Blade servers. Maybe not. Maybe? I don't remember. But dude, hope you feel better. Sounds like fun. New servers to play with are always fun. I actually spent a good 4 or 5 hours re-racking a few things in my rack last night and then again this morning, ordering a few cables and rearranging stuff. And it was so nice to get back to playing with stuff in my rack. So that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun for sure. Gumshoe Noir, I'm working on replacing Windows with Linux desktop. Hey, I think we've all been there a few times. I hope it goes well. I'm sure it will. You'll have to let me know what distro. Not that it matters. Not that it matters. But, so we can all judge you. No, but isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth about Linux? Is that, like, Linux is not good enough. People have to know what distro so they can either judge you or tell you it's the wrong one. That seems to be the case, at least on social media, with me for sure. But anyways, any flavor is fine with me. I don't care which one you say. Even if you say Miley Cyrus, I'd be like, sweet. But it better be Miley Cyrus. So anyways, Gumshoe Noir, have we started? Yes, I'm in chat, but stream not started. I hope it started. Hey, Tim, been a while. Finally have a chance to hang out on the stream. Thank you, Navy Cop. Yeah, how's it going, Navy Cop? Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you being back. Yakto, I'm getting prepped for the extra life at PDXLAN, though. Yeah, man, you do this every year. I think you and Craft Computing, and I think there might be one other person. So Jeff, go to PDXLAN. I can't remember if you brought a server rack last time or you're going to bring a server rack this time. But you have some kind of portable rack, I think you bring to game and stream, and then help raise money for a charity, Extra Life. So that's awesome. I hope it goes well. You have to tell me what this, I think it was last year I think Jeff told me. I think Jeff may have told me that last year you were like gonna bring a whole entire rack. We are deferring the rack to the spring 2025 event. All right, yeah, because Jeff, I was talking to him one day, and he's like, yeah, Yakto, he might bring a whole rack there. I was like, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Maybe a mini rack. Hey, that's, hey, no, it's fine. Hi there. Lots of greetings and salutations. It's been a while. Great to see you stream again. Hey, Monkey Boy, yeah, it has. It's been a couple of weeks. I don't even want to count the weeks because I feel bad. But my original plans were to get to Cerro Gordo and do a live stream from there. We got there later. They had crap internet, and we weren't able to fix the internet in time to have a stream. The next day was working all day in the sun and heat, and so was the next day, So it was really like Chris put me to work. And I told him too. Like, hey, I'm not here to hang out. I'm not here to like slow you down. Like, use me. Like, I want to work. I want to learn. Show me, teach me. Senpai, yeah. I was trying to be like I don't know, like a Padawan in networking, but it was pretty awesome. And I think I don't know. I'll have to see his video. I don't know if he's going to critique my work. I think it did a pretty good job. I'm a pretty fast learner, and don't get me wrong. Like I've done networking stuff before. I understand it from a pretty good. I have a pretty good perspective on it, and if I was given the task to, do an install of a network, I think I would do it pretty good. The greatest? Probably not, but, I think those are things that you pick up over time. And I've done plenty of Cat5 runs and crimped plenty of cables, but I've never got to crimp Cat6 with shielding, so I had to figure all that out. And then I've never been able to play with long-range networking or any ISP gear. So that's what I was really excited about, and that's why I wanted to go. Plus, I got to meet Chris, too. Totally random. He's probably like, man, this guy, Techno Tim, I don't know. Should I pick him up or should I ditch out on him in Reno? I'm kidding. Zendi, currently trying to get all my servers to respond with my Ansible setup. Awesome. Still some network problems / VLANs. Yeah. Speaking of VLANs, yeah, our networking. Well, I hope you figure it out. Yeah, it can be tough, but yeah, I every now and then I run into some, let me back up. I have a ton of Ansible playbooks. I run them. Like I have one that updates all my Proxmox servers. Then I have, a playbook that updates all of my group 1 servers because I group all of my virtual machines into 1, 2, 3. I have a couple more. but that kind of helps me know which node in the cluster they're on. So I have two Proxmox clusters. And so when I target all of one, I know, hey, cluster 1 and 2, it's all the machines on one. And then when I target, zone 2, basically zone 2, it's all of the machines on, both clusters, zone 2 and zone 3, so on and so forth. Every now and then mine gets tripped up, but it ends up being like IDS or IPS is thinking I'm like port scanning them for SSH, even though I have rules in place. So, but you'll get it. You'll figure it out. It's great once you get it going, because now I can orchestrate my patches for Proxmox and all VMs with just a couple of playbooks. So it's pretty sweet now. Now it's patching along with Kubernetes for the most part. I'm just like, yeah, I could patch it almost any time. There always is a small blip in a couple of services because they're not HA, so maybe a 30-second blip, but not enough to know for anyone to notice. So, anyways, that's awesome. I hope you figure it out. Budney, no home lab stuff today. Need to put more computer stuff on Marketplace to get more stuff to fill up my rack. Isn't that the truth? I think everyone listening or watching right now can think of at least 5 things that they need to sell or get rid of. I can. I have my reminders right here of 5 things, 5 groups of things I either want to sell or get rid of. Which is a good segue into something I have coming up. It's probably next. I won't spoil it, but I found a place that is a good place to either get rid of or donate old items to. And so some of the times it's a huge hassle for me to, as it is for most people, to list things on, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, for $10-20, right? Like, is that worth the hassle? And I mean, if you have 10 of them, then it might be, if you have bulk items. But for me, it's like, it's onesie, twosies, a hodgepodge of stuff I want to get rid of. The same person is never going to buy all of it. So you have to it just takes a lot of work. And so I found, I've now found a place where I could donate that stuff to that will either get recycled responsibly or sold again. So pretty cool, but we'll talk about that. That's coming up. That's one of my other fun things I got to do. But anyways, I hope you figure it out. Listing stuff on Marketplace and Craigslist and all that takes time. It takes time. It does. And responding to the automated messages with automated messages also takes time. It's so funny. It's to the point now where someone says, "Is this still available?" And then you click, "Yes, it's still available. Are you interested?" And then the real conversation begins. And I think everybody's done that so many times, like, we should cut that whole piece out. But then again, some people do forget that their stuff is still listed. So anyways, OfferUp too. Yep, there's OfferUp and there's one more. There's OfferUp and there's one more. There's 2 that came out at the same time. They're almost the same. But I should just say, like, Let Go. Good call. Yep, exactly. Let Go and OfferUp. Yeah, so I should just say, like, secondhand marketplace or something. Oh, sold and merged to OfferUp. That's cool because I thought they were almost the same exact thing except for different themes. Like, one was pink and one was green, I think. I can't remember. And I'm like, man, 2 of these places just launched at once. I can't keep track. But it's work listing things for sale. And I won't go too far into it, but a lot of people, when I evaluate hardware, they're just like, "You got this for free and that's your payment." I'm like, no, product is not payment. And I evaluated this thing and I have, going to list stuff and dealing with people for the next week and a half is work. And so, not to mention there's a small market for the things that we want to get rid of too. So anyways, it is work. So I know exactly what you mean, Budney. It's kind of one of those things you put everything, on a big list and you're like, one day. So anyways, I have a frictionless way to get rid of stuff, to donate stuff here soon that I'm going to share with a lot of people. Good afternoon, y'all. Hey, how's it going? I like the y'all. I am 94. Smiling is actually pretty dang exhausting. I totally agree, especially at events. I'm not happy that I'm so tired. Ironic, ain't it? Yeah. No, I agree. I'm the type of person that recharges from being alone or being, from silence, right? And so some people like get energized by being around lots of people. Don't get me wrong, I do kind of in the beginning, but at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like so exhausted. It has nothing to do with anyone. It's just like my personality. So I'm taking a deep breath now, even thinking about it. Yeah, it is exhausting. Talking and smiling a lot. It is. It wears you out. It wears you out. But I don't know. More happy equals more smiles. More tired equals less smiles. Less happy. Always good to recharge. How one needs. I agree. And so some people are the opposite, where they're like, man, I feel like I need to go see people so I can like get some energy. And me, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until I'm like, have some time to think and collect my thoughts by myself in silence, or maybe a little music. So anyways, that's why I have all of these lines. It's all from smiling, because that's all I do. That's my go-to is smile. So, which is good. I guess that's a good trait, or reaction, I guess. Hoping they can get those out in the next 6 to 8 months. Tech TV, this is going back to, I assume, Ubiquiti announcements. I do too. I don't want to say what time frame they promise for some things, but I do too. Because I think a lot of it is going to be impressive if they can pull that all off. And it's super interesting how they operate too, because they're a publicly traded company, but they're real tight knit, which helps them get things done quick, and they can make decisions really quick too. I've worked in corporate America enough to know that, like, man, they're when decisions need to be made, you have to call in a big meeting. Getting people to decide on what the outcome should be is hard. Not to mention then like taking that up and convincing other people. It's tough, but seems like Ubiquiti has some of that figured out. And I guess proof of some of that is like they are not afraid to change or throw out what's not working. And I think one example of that might be frustrating is how many times they changed the UI for the network application. I think in the span of like 6 months, they changed it 3 times. Like totally like we're going to throw it out and start all over type changes, it seems like. Which can be exhausting for the people who use it. But at the same time, I think I can respect a company who can make large sweeping changes like that quickly. As long as they're not doing it all the time. Obviously, if they're doing it all the time nonstop for a year, then you're kind of like, yeah, something's going on. But I think they just kind of decided, this is me, speculation, that like, hey, we need to pivot, we need a better UI, and we need a better user experience, and this is the way forward. So anyways, these are just my observations. Happy Saturday. Are those new headphones? Actually, they're not. I've had, it's funny because I've had these for a long time. I've had them for a really long time, like way, I don't know, maybe 10 years, if that. Even in my corporate development days, I've had these. And then I threw them in a tote after I started streaming on Twitch because like I needed a microphone also to talk on. And I was like, well, if I just plug in earbuds, they're not this big. Well, I did that for years and years and years. And when I got my new audio setup, I had the bigger mic jack. I'm terrible at audio stuff. So not the 3.5 millimeter, but the bigger one. And I thought, wow, I don't have an adapter. Let me go grab these headphones, these Sennheiser ones that I really like. They're like the cheapest version of Sennheisers, but I think they're great value. 1/4 inch, thank you. And I plugged that in and I was like, whoa, this like sounds incredible. Like I'm hearing things in music that I haven't heard before. And that's because I was using those earbuds for a long time, the Beats earbuds. And I only got those as like a special, and they worked great with my phone for a microphone too, because they had the TRRS, I think is when it includes mic too. So anyways, after I did that, I'm like, man, I'm spoiling my ears right now by using these Sennheisers. So I'm just kind of keeping them in. And I wish I could get some earbuds that sounded really good, that I could just put in my ears that weren't obvious. Because, these look huge. And I get it. Like, a lot of people wear them. That's just part of the game. Like, if you have a microphone, you wear headphones. But I like mine to be a little more subtle. Plus, in the summer, man, it's like earmuffs. It's like, I'll be sweating. Anyways, yeah, if you guys have earbud recommendations, like in Discord, throw them in the audio video channel because I would love to know what earbuds you guys are using. TRRS or a microphone would be a plus, but not required at all. So anyways, I've had them for a long time. I used to use them in the beginning of Twitch, way back. But now they're making a comeback. Wish they let some stuff public. Yeah. I agree. I agree for a lot of reasons. But you're saying, hey, like I wish Ubiquiti made some of this stuff public. I think so too. Like like if I put myself in a big company's shoes, they're already making themselves vulnerable, right, by having this event and inviting people and saying like, hey, don't tell anyone. It's kind of a secret. Not a secret, but just like this stuff is not public yet. For whatever reasons, we might not do it. It might change. We don't want people to know. It's our competitive edge. You name it. All those things. Hey, dude, thank you. TFCPT. I'm back. Love you all. Always remember, I am. Whoa. Always remember, Team Google. Always have Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and it's great. Gemini is improving a lot since a couple of months, and they are ready for Gemini 2. Google seems to announce that upgrade until the end of the year. All right, good to see you. Yeah, our resident Google fan is back in the house, but I'm sure there are a lot of them. But anyways, like I always try to put myself in anyone's shoes because it's easy for me to like play armchair quarterback and be like, dude, just tell everyone, you know what I mean? And then I try to think like if I was running a business and I was, had to please shareholders while trying to please my customers while trying to develop stuff and keeping them excited about the stuff that I'm doing, how do you do that without like spilling all the secret sauce? And so or how do you keep them excited when you finally launch that product, right? If they're talking about the things that they're gonna be doing for 6 months, when it launched, you're just kind of like, oh, that's the thing they were talking about for 6 months. You know what I mean? So I think they're just kind of trying to balance this and figure out, what role they're gonna play publicly, because for a long time they weren't available publicly, and so they've been showing up at trade shows. They've been doing the UWC, and so they've been making themselves a lot more accessible in different channels, and thus making themselves more vulnerable. So anyways, I'm not speaking for them. This is just like, hey, if I was a company and doing things, how secretive would I be, I don't know. It's tough, but I agree. I wish they let some stuff public too. Like, but then there's always like, you said you were going to do that, and now you're not going to, there's all that too. So I think they want to, at least keep what they do launch and release, they want to, I don't know. Again, like I'm making all kinds of assumptions as if I were them, but I think any company who makes a promise officially wants to keep that. And so some people might see like, hey, we're trying a couple of things. We might do this, we might do that. As a promise, and then some people might say, hey, you didn't keep that promise. So anyways, man, the game of like, I don't know, trying to sell products and keeping them secret while keeping people excited about them is tough. I couldn't imagine it. Their marketing team is probably like, oh my gosh, like stop saying stuff or say more. I couldn't imagine being someone's marketing team and just, and obviously those people too, product managers or engineers, they're probably super excited about this stuff. They're like, man, I'm so ready to talk about it, but they can't. So anyways, I'm making a ton of speculation about stuff I don't really know, but I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes too. Let's see really quick. This is a big one. No, not really quick. Let's move on. Techno Tim, I'm fed up with Windows and I'm trying to select a Linux desktop distribution. When selecting a Linux desktop to replace Windows, choosing Ubuntu, in my honest opinion, puts you in the same boat as Windows. I don't feel that canonical Ubuntu has the continued free and open internet that we all want. Did you hear that Pop! OS will drop Ubuntu upstream for straight Debian? Yep, I have. How about a new Discord channel Linux desktop? Hey, so a lot of things going in there. So one thing on the last piece about a new Linux channel, I tried not to go too wide. We went really wide and we have tons of channels. I would recommend just throwing that one in operating systems. I think that's a good place to talk about it. We were going to have one for Windows, for Linux, for whatever, Mac OS. But then I was like, yeah, this is getting too wide, and then there's going to be one message, from 6 months ago. So we went with the operating systems. That includes iOS, Android, you name it, basically an OS. So there's that. But a lot of things going on in there. And I totally get it. Like after the whole, rug pull, from what people saw from Red Hat, like a lot of people started reevaluating stuff too. And so Pop! OS, I think, was like, hey, instead of upstream Ubuntu, we're going to go upstream Debian because then we don't have to worry about it. Because there's no company behind the distribution, like making, decisions that may or may not benefit other people. And so, yeah, I've seen a lot of people do it. Personally, I've tried Debian. Personally, I still use Ubuntu. If that were to ever happen, it's super easy for me to pivot to Debian. And then you're probably like, well, why don't you do Debian now? I don't know. I don't know. It's familiarity, probably, and driver support and a lot of other things. Like, yeah, I'll just put it at that. I'm like, Debian has a long release cycle, and everyone loves it, on day one when they release the new version. But, on day, 1,000, they aren't so happy when it has, they aren't so happy with, all of their packages being frozen in time. So anyways, that being said, I think choose the one that's best for you. Choose what's best for you. There are not only, technical reasons why people choose distributions, but there are socioeconomic reasons why now people choose distributions. And I'm not here to tell you which one to choose. I just say use what's best for you. And that's not only what works in your workflow, but also fits, aligns with your moral compass. I'll put it that way. It's weird now that, that we have to think about those types of things, but we've seen, things happen with either different platforms or different OSs or different products. And so now we always have to look at it through a lens of ourselves. And so if you think a distribution aligns to you and the company behind it, or no company behind it aligns with you, yeah, go for it. For sure. Got to recharge the social battery always. Yeah, mine recharges when I'm by myself. Not by myself, but just, home, I guess, in a quiet scenario. Maybe I get to write a little code. That's when I recharge. Pop! OS and Mint are my dailies right now. Yeah, big recommendation. Yeah, Pop! OS for sure, and Mint. Yeah, absolutely. I think those two are kind of going after, the same thing, making Linux easy. And having good support for drivers, and having, pretty up-to-date packages. Budney, a Pro Max 16 PoE with 8 or more 2.5 gigabit Ethernet would be my perfect switch. Yeah, so, yeah, it's almost like, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, if they had a 16, Pro Max 16 that was, at least half 2.5 gigabits ports, that would be your perfect switch. Yeah, I think at that point they're just like, well, buy up. I think, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I have no idea why they split up their ports. I'm assuming it's cost. I'm assuming that's all it is. But it's tough. It's tough to please everyone with all products, but. Yeah, when you split stuff up, you either have to look at it. It's tough when you split stuff up, because if you're like, okay, a quarter of them are going to be this, 3/4 are going to be this. So the people that, it's like you're splitting your audience, right? People are either going to be pleasantly surprised or happy that there's the quarter of the extra things, or the people, who may not be happy that they're now getting a product that has 3/4 of the things they don't want. So yeah, it is weird. But if it was all 2.5, it might cost more, for sure. Poppy, orange, sweet, angry, water. Twisted Grim, how's it going? Poppy, orange, sweet, angry, water. Poppy, orange, sweet. I gotta try this, man. Because we were talking about orange and the different ways you can do orange, and more different ways you can do orange vanilla. There's go for the natural flavored orange with the natural flavored vanilla, which honestly, it's one of the few things ever in my life that gave me like the gag reflex after like drinking it. Or you just go for the candy flavored and it's like, you know, it's like orange cream soda, which I think is the right way to do orange and vanilla. So I got to try this though. Orange sweet, Poppy. I've never even heard of Poppy, man. You're like getting ahead of me. You got to slow down on this water. Question, Tim. Thoughts on the whole thread on X recently about UniFi's new NAS? I think the product is solid for an ecosystem product, but feels odd. And some people were hung up on not having a device. Oh, yeah. Device color choices. So let's talk about the last one because that's the easiest one. Device color choices, silver. I mean, yeah, silver. I mean, you really don't have a choice in this. And you got to think from there. Again, I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I mean, no matter who the company was, even if you said HP or someone like that, you know, unless these things are super high volume commodities, right? An iPhone, I don't know, you name it. It's kind of hard for them to have different colors of things because then you end up with two SKUs. And having two SKUs in general means you have to keep inventory of two different things, you know, and then everything that comes along with that, manufacturing two different things, you know, and it's basically doubling your efforts for really at the end of the day, one product. And this is me just from the outside looking in from any product, even if this hard drive came, you know, in black or silver, you know, it's adding complexity. And so, yeah, I mean, I think most people in general just kind of expect like, hey, it's Ubiquiti. I'm buying into them. I know it's going to be silver in my head, right? And imagine if it was the other way around. They're like, we're switching to black. All the people who are like, man, I got a full rack of silver Ubiquiti and now you're going black. What is going on? So anyways, that's just kind of what it is. If they could sell volume and they could prove, you know, that, hey, we'd sell more if we offered black, then maybe. And again, this is take the company out, the brand out. I'm just speaking from purely a product standpoint. So again, this is all my speculation. So, and then the other piece. So anyways, I get it. Like some people might like black better, but yeah, that's a tough one. And I think the product is solid for an ecosystem, but it feels odd that some people were hung up. Yeah, so I agree on silver being the only choice. I mean, they've never offered anything else. I think a few weird switches, not weird, but ones I don't really understand, industrial ones, and other ones come in black. And when I saw those at first, I was like, ooh, maybe they're switching to black. And no, they're not. They're not, at least from what we see. And then UniFi's new NAS, I did release a video on that, you know, last week. And I didn't even mention it. I totally forgot. But yeah, I released a video on them. I've been testing that NAS. I've had it, I think, for 4 months, if not longer. I can't even remember. But I had it for a long time. And so I've seen them iterate on the operating system for the NAS and making it better, making changes, making it better. And, you know, I even said this in the video, like for me personally, you know, I like my NASs to be a little more complex. I like a little more services on them. I like them to be a little bit faster and have caching and all this stuff I get from TrueNAS, really, you know, really TrueNAS kind of spoiled me. And, you know, you could say the same about Synology, you know, those kind of like spoiled the consumer, you know, NAS, I think, at least for the tinker, right? Because we get all these things, it's an all-in-one. We want caching, we can bolt it on. We want 10 gigabit Ethernet, we bolt on another card. We want all of these applications. Sure, let's do it. And I guess that could be for small business too. So for me personally, I was like, yeah, like this, I can see where it can fit in. I totally can. I can see where it fit in. And actually, I racked it in my rack yesterday because I want to follow this thing as it develops, because things, they're not just going to ship this as is and never touch it again. Again, going back to like their track record or things they develop. I mean, and again, my speculation, but if you look at Protect and how that's evolved over time, right? And so again, this is me just speculation. Like, let's look at another one of the products, very similar chassis, very similar responsibility, but Protect has evolved over time from going to something that's to something that's pretty good. And not only, I'm not only talking in like performance, how fast it is, the apps they have, but also going into object detection, AI detection, adding a doorbell. Like, all of these features came later. They didn't ship with it. And then on top of that, then they just announced that we're now supporting on-viv cameras. So they're saying we're supporting something totally outside of our ecosystem that has an open standard. And so, if I look at the evolution of that, me personally, I can, make the assumption that maybe some stuff like this will happen there too. So again, this is me just speaking, like, I don't know anything. I don't have any insider information. Like, everything I know about that NAS has been shipped. Minus one thing. But I won't say because I'm in the early access, but it's all good stuff. But, then I always say, like, you have to be happy with the product the day you buy it, right? I won't buy products that are based on a promise, right? You don't want to buy products that are based on a promise. We'll have that. That's in the next release. Oh yeah, that's coming Q4. Oh yeah, we're going to launch something else and that's going to fix all of this. No, whenever I hear that, I'm just like, no, I have to be absolutely happy with this, exactly how it is now. If it never changed, I'd have to be happy with it. Because then you're just setting yourself up for possibly a letdown if it never happens. So anyways, I see where this fits in. I totally see where it fits in. Like, they need a story about storage. And this is a story about storage. Hey, we can provide storage to some of our existing customers on premise, super easy, and pretty basic. And when I say basic, that's kind of twofold, right? Basic as in it's not that complex, easy to set up, and then basic in the offering, right? Just SMB and web, right? And I don't know. I don't know. For their target market, they must have done some research and said, hey, we're targeting this group of people, small, medium business, probably. Small, medium business, most likely, are only using SMB, right? They probably are using Google Drive right now. And a lot of these people don't want to pay storage to Google Drive. So let's target them first. And so then they're saying, like, okay, well, how do we target those Google Drive people? Well, okay, in order to target those people to get them off of Google Drive, again, all speculation. This is just me. If I was the product owner and developing this product, I would say, okay, first thing to do, we got to absolutely support SMB, and we absolutely have to support web in general, right? And so me as a product owner, I would say those are the two things we're going after. Engineers, let's build this stuff, And after that, I might go after other things and expand. So again, this is all me speculating. That's what I should have, a name tag or something I can put up so I don't have to keep like clarifying that this is Tim's speculation. This is not anything I've heard. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a button where I can just hit a button and it's just going to put up a little sign that says, this is me just speculating. Cause it is. So anyways, I can talk about this stuff all day cause, it's interesting to me. It's super interesting to me, again, a company that's not only trying to, get hardware out, but, create some really cool software around it. And, I'm a software guy, but I'm also a hardware guy. And I know it takes two to tango, right? It takes two, unless it's just an open system where you're like, hey, that's a feature, right? If an open system is a feature, absolutely. That is awesome. you know, but if it's closed, like, you know, this NAS it's 100% closed, that software better be pretty dang good, right? And it better allow me to access it offline with an account, not connected to the cloud, and it lets you do all that. So anyways, I don't know. It's super interesting. I only know one tidbit more, and that's it. And it's nothing that I'm even speculating anyway. So, but no, it's I don't know. I'd like to follow this stuff, right? Like I like to follow this stuff. Like even if I think it's not for me, I still want to look at it, play with it, and have an opinion about it as it evolves. And so that's kind of what my review was. It's not for me in my home, but if I was already doing UniFi stuff and I was wearing many hats, right? I'm wearing a network hat, I'm wearing a, PBX hat or a phone system hat, and I'm wearing a physical security and, and a camera access hat and cameras. The simple button for me as an overworked or understaffed IT would be to let's grab the simple storage, because there's no way I can manage storage on top of everything else. And on top of that, provide a good web UI with authentication and authorization, to authorize with Google LDAP or Active Directory or Entra or Entra, And so, again, is it going to replace my NAS for me at home in my home lab? No. If I managed if I was an MSP and some company said, hey, we need storage, we run all Ubiquiti stuff, I'd lay it out as an option to them. But I don't know. I don't know. But if I was internal IT there, I'd be like, man, that's a lot. We got a lot to manage. Do we want to take this on? So anyways, I'm just speculating. I need a sign. I'm going to come up with one. I can just hit, Tim is speculating. Do not take any of this as gospel. So I like Pop! OS 2 upstream. It's built on Ubuntu. Yeah, for sure. Yep. And that's what they were talking about. They're going to switch to Debian upstream. And I've been following it here and there on Twitter. Every now and then they'll post like their progress. So surprise Tim isn't on craft computing more often. Not a beer drinker more for Jeff. That's right. That is right. No, I've been on there. I don't know if it's once or twice. He's been on Twitch, and I've been on his stream, and I've met him in real life now twice. Yeah, it should be. But I was embarrassed because I really wasn't expecting him to put me on the scene and say, hey, what are you drinking? When I was on there last time. And I was drinking a Mountain Dew Zero. What kind of Mountain Dew was it? It was a sugar-free Mountain Dew. I don't remember. Zero. Oh, I forget what it was. But it's the kind of Mountain Dew that they had at Taco Bell for a while, and it was an exclusive. And I don't even drink pop that often, and I just so happen to have one. But yeah, Baja Blast. Thank you, I am 94. I was drinking a zero sugar Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I'm like, man, I look like, he's drinking something super nice and fancy. And I'm like, oh, this can I have right here? One, I don't drink pop that much. And two, it's totally random. But I will say, though, that Baja Blast Mountain Dew is pretty good. They have so many flavors now. They have some watermelon flavor I want to try. They have some orange flavor now I want to try. But they don't make the zero sugar version, and and I think they only sell it in cans too, at least where I've been. And so it's I have to commit to a 12-pack, to even try it. So I'm hoping they launch more of their zero sugar versions of those Mountain Dews, the diet ones, or they're not diet, they're zero sugar. Anyways, let's see. Nothing's perfect. I use it works. I prefer Ubuntu Canonical versus Windows and Microsoft. Yeah, I hear you. I think I think that's kind of where I am too. My desktop Linux OS of choice is typically Ubuntu because one, I'm used to it, and two, it has pretty good support with a lot of things that I use. Kubernetes versus virtual machines and thin clients. Oh yeah, that's a long one. Kubernetes versus virtual machines and thin clients. That one's tough because, Kubernetes is trying to solve different things than, virtual machines in general in thin clients. Because if you're thinking like, hey, I'm going desktop, unless you're using KubeVirt, which, at the end of the day, KubeVirt is just letting you run KVM along with Kubernetes so you can provision your virtual machines declaratively like you can the rest of Kubernetes. So talk about confusing, but yeah, oh man, that's a rabbit hole. I'm not going to touch that one. I feel like that one's bait. Building first rack server with Proxmox and TrueNAS VM. How does anyone get 128 gigabytes or 192 gigabytes of RAM with 4 DIMMs actually stable? Let me know if you can figure it out and stable. Maybe you can do a YouTube video idea if you can get it to work. Hey, I do. So I have 128 gigs on my one instance of TrueNAS. Yeah, I do. That's what I'm running. Actually, let me check. I know one of my servers has 256, and I won't look long because anytime I do this stuff, like I get totally sidetracked, and then like I'm not two-factor on. See, this is what happens. I get sidetracked on stuff, and then I'm just not paying attention to chat. Let me see. I just don't want to misspeak. Yeah, 128 gigs. So I have 128 gigs running. So 128 gigs, DDR4, TrueNAS, bare metal, and it's working. So I don't know. I mean, I'm running TrueNAS Scale, right? I'm running TrueNAS Scale. It's fully patched. I think there was a patch, I don't know, 3-4 days ago. And for me, it's running pretty good. So I don't see, I don't know. Anyways, need more info. But I wish I knew more. Sorry. Sorry, Ludacris. I like it. Luda. Mob Farmer, MySQL Dump or Simular for the win. Oh, MySQL Dump. Oh, to dump my databases and move them, I assume. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. It's exactly what I'm gonna have to do. But I run a job in Kubernetes, multiple backup jobs for each of my database engines. So I run Postgres, I run MongoDB, and I run MySQL, and then I have cron jobs, Kubernetes cron jobs that run those, nightly. So that runs for me. But yeah, I would probably run one manually when I shut them down right before I migrate. Yeah, or what I would do is build the other one, get older set of data, get it running, and then export an update script that would update the data of the one running. So then I could at least cut over and have something that, it might have, most data minus 1 hour of stuff, which is pretty okay for my stuff because it's all content related. Well, mostly. So anyways, yeah, I like it. Prime sub, yeah, for the Prime IT guy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, Prime IT guy. I like this. Man, you guys are too kind. Tinko. Sorry, my sock is being weird. I'm going with Tinko La Ro. Hi, Martin here from Argentina. Have a TrueNAS setup with 2 mirrored disks. Looking forward to migrating that VDEV into a 3-disk RAID Z1. Trying to see what's the best approach. I have 3 new disks, but only 4 SATA ports on that server. Probably would need to wait until I build my backup TrueNAS server, back up the original there, create the new VDEV, and restore the backup. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no real migration. It's move the data off, destroy or create the new VDEV and move it back on, going from mirrored to RAID Z1. So yeah, and that stinks. You only have 3 SATA, which means one's for the OS, which means, yeah, that's kind of toast. If you have NVMe or something somewhere, then maybe you'll get one more out of it, or at least have something for your OS, but I'm doubting it. I am 94. I can't wait to get my Home Assistant after I start my TrueNAS. Yeah, it's great. I was just, commenting the other day in Discord about how I love running Zigbee to MQTT and Home Assistant and how nice it is. And then I was thinking, man, my Home Assistant is so stable now. I look short now because I totally took off my shoes. I gotta even that back out. But my home assistant has been so stable, and a lot of it had to do with just switching over to Zigbee for a lot of my devices. I'm kind of like on the fence with my home assistant setup. Like, you know, do I go with IP based things, which is great for many reasons, right? Because I can ping stuff, because, you know, you name it, I can see them on the network. You know, I can, you know, verify that they're there. But then I switched out, I think about 18 devices for Zigbee stuff. And it's been rock solid. Like, I don't even think about it. I don't even worry about if my automations are going to run. They always run. When I hit power on anything, it's always going to work. And that I didn't have that with when I was using IP-based stuff. It could have been, you know, a lot to do with the Wemo stuff that I was using that was 10 years old. But a lot of that just comes with, like, having a lot of 2.4, you know, gigahertz devices in general, just having a lot of them that don't have a great connection all the time. And so I decided to go Zigbee and build up my mesh network, and it goes all the way outside to the garage, all the way back here. It's pretty cool. So, and that's been pretty solid. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's been pretty solid too. You'll have to lower your RAM speeds. Hey, good call, Budney. So I'm running my Ryzen system at 2933. RAM is rated for 3200. Hey, that is a great suggestion. So this goes back to, hey, I'm running TrueNAS. I have 128 gigs or 192 gigs of RAM across 4 DIMMs. Like, it's not stable at all. And I looked at mine and I'm like, works on my machine. That's pretty much what I did. But this is that was a great suggestion. Oh my gosh, here it is. That was a great suggestion by Budney. Is, hey, lower your RAM speeds. So you're running your Ryzen system at 229.33 megahertz when it's rated for 3200 megahertz. So yeah, great suggestion. Yeah, lower it down. Like, if that is such a great suggestion. If it's not stable, just lower the clock speeds, you know. And I always side towards lower in general. I always side towards stability in general. Like, I used to overclock and tweak stuff on my desktop, say with my servers and all this stuff. And, you know, all it does, all it takes is for one time for like, to me to lose a recording, or for my machine to go offline when I'm streaming, like it has, or blue screen, and I'm just like, those days are kind of over. Like, now I value stability, and it's kind of, I don't know if I, like, matured into this, or like I learned the hard way, because, you know, the old me was like, give me beta, give me alpha, beta, zeta, give me anything that's brand new. I'll try any driver you have, even if you just compiled it. I will overclock anything and everything to the max, and let's have fun. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I just want stuff to work. Like, and not just work. I want it to perform, but at the same time, I don't ever want to have to worry about, is my machine going to crash? Is my audio going to work? And so I used to say that. Now I got rid of that system altogether. So, yeah, good call. Too many toys, too little time. Alone with a day job, so many cool items to buy that I must delay. I hear you too. Popular Smoke. Howdy, Tim and all. I haven't been here. Haven't had time to check in here lately or work in my home lab. Wonder if you have any thoughts on inventory management systems or similar. Lots of moving around recently, and found Homebox to help with keeping boxes and other miscellaneous stuff organized. I think that's the one that most people use. Homebox? I don't know. This has come up a few times on, like, inventory management, and I'm always like, yeah, I totally need to do it. I need to do it too. Mainly, I need to track serial numbers, because you know how I track a serial number? I either take a picture of my phone, and I never have metadata to go along with it, and AI's not smart enough to say, this is a hard drive label, you know? And so I do need to do some inventory management stuff too. Like, and for things that are, you know, non-tech, like my boiler, you know, or my dishwasher model, you know, those are things, like, sometimes when I'm, like, not around it, I need to know the information for. So, yeah, this is good. I think Homebox. I thought there was one other inventory management system people used, and I can't remember. But hey, glad you're back. Yeah, hope you figure it out. But yeah, keeping boxes and other miscellaneous stuff organized, that's cool too. So you're going one step further. You're not just saying like, hey, I'm going to inventory the stuff I know. You're going to inventory boxes too. So you can say box 1 contains these things, box 2 contains these things, and then I never need to know which box, this thing is in because I'll have it labeled. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I usually just slap like a Post-it note on the outside, scribble on it with a Sharpie, and then, 6 months later it falls off and I have no idea what's in there. I've gotten better though. Now I tape the Post-it note on there. So, okay, whoa, I went way over. I'm gonna look through here. I'm gonna look through some of this. Navy Cop question: lost my job at the end of last October. So it's been a heck of a year since. A lot of part-time jobs, but 56, not too many are hiring. Ooh, that's tough. Going to start working on my virtualization stuff, home assistant, etc. How are your tutorials aging with software upgrades and such? Hey, Navy Cop. Well, one, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I hope you find something that suits you and that you find enjoyable. And yeah, that stinks. I hope you find it soon. I hope things pick up and you find a job. So that's tough. And I'm sure it's putting stress on you and your family. So that stinks. The second part, how are your tutorials aging with software upgrades and such? Actually, they're doing pretty good. The only litmus test I have on them is I'll get comments from tutorials that I did 3 years ago. And so when I stop getting those, I'm like, did something change? Should I be aware of something else? And so I think they've been good. I'm checking on one right now. So I've had my eye on one of my videos because it was going to be the first video that got to 1 million. I don't know if it is now. Like, my channel's not that popular. Like I never have anything go viral. Like nothing HomeLab's going to go viral. You know what I mean? Whereas, I shouldn't say that. I guess my videos never go viral. I don't know that they ever will. And that's fine with me. Like I'm fine with what I'm doing. And I think it's fun. And I like to, teach people stuff and sometimes tell stories and sometimes evaluate hardware. I like doing all those things. So, but there was one video that almost had 1 million views. And here I go again, like going into this whole long thing. And I was just like, maybe it'll be, next month. Maybe it'll be in 6 months. And I can't find it now. So anyways, that one is aged pretty good because people are still using it and I'm trying to find it. And if I don't find it in 2 seconds, I'm done. I'm done with this. Anyways, I can't find it. I'm like scrolling through like a madman. Anyways, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I try to make my tutorials, I don't know, like technical, but generic enough to where they might work on the next version. But that's one of the cool and it's one of the upsides and downsides of making tutorials. The upside is, hey, you always have new content if you want to do the next version. The downside is, hey, you might need to make new content if they have a new version, and that might not fall into your plans. But that's a cool thing about tech. It's changing and if I don't do it, that gives someone else an opportunity to do it too. So I love seeing that. Like, hey, I covered version 7 of something, right? And I might not cover version 8. And here's this person out of nowhere covering version 8 and getting a lot of eyeballs on it. I'm like, that is awesome, because we need to grow this category. So it's really cool. It's really cool when I see people on my YouTube homepage that I've never heard before talking about HomeLab stuff. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Because it means like people are interested and, and we're trying to grow this category together. The rising tide lifts all boats. And so if there are more and more people talking about this thing, more and more people interested in it, we just kind of all grow together. And it's pretty cool. It's one of the few things where, I think that's true, where you can kind of all grow together. Anyways, So I hope you find a job and I hope things go better, Navy Cop. But good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I would love to go to Cerro Gordo. I'm in Cali, so it's not that far from me. Maybe we should hook up with Starlink someday. Yeah, so they do, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. So we did hook them up with Starlink as a failover. And then we kind of dedicated Starlink to just Brent's devices because he's the person who needs, you know, the internet the most because he has to release YouTube videos. So, and we did a lot of cool stuff. And I think Chris is going to release his video sometime. And, you know, he's going to release his first. I'm not going to, like, try to steal any thunder. I'll wait until his is out, and then I'll release mine. So, and Chris will have the full story, too. And he took so many shots. And you might see me getting a little crazy, climbing up a mountain with a whole entire spool of Cat 6 over my head. Little challenge was me to go up 300 feet on this mountain with a big spool, you know, on my shoulder, up and down. So I did it. So he'll probably have it. He was flying a drone. Like, I haven't seen any of his footage. I'm like, man, I'm gonna look like a maniac. So, anyways, if it works and is stable, don't notice any difference. The machine VMs LXCs, it's DDR4, and I think it would need to be done with DDR5 more so. I think this is going back to the stability of stuff and overclocking. Okay, guys, I said this a couple of times, but I'm gonna look for something that's like, man, maybe someone's like looking for me specifically. I'm just gonna oh man, Music Driver. I'm just gonna land on this one. Oh, I saw it and I was scrolling by. Music Driver. Just to mention, I recently testing Omada stuff. But first, I would like to play with it without the Omada controller, only TP-Link GUI. ACLs are weird. Yeah, I haven't tested any of the Omada stuff. I think they've reached out, TP-Link has reached out before, and, you know, I've considered it, but I haven't tried it. Seems like a good value. Like, you're getting a super good value from Omada stuff. So I haven't looked at any of it. Like, I'm aware of what it is and what they're doing, but I feel like I should at some point. I feel like I should. All right, I'm clicking on the next ones because there I could see using the UniFi NAS for just a file dumping backup of my main TrueNAS VM on Proximox. Budney, you nailed exactly what I'm doing right now. So this is a product that's going to evolve, and I need to test it, and I want to test it with real data. So what I'm doing is I'm just using it as a dumping ground or a backup, a local backup of some of my SMB shares that are here, so that if my TrueNAS dies, that my whole YouTube archive, you know, of however many terabytes, 10 terabytes, has to be restored from the cloud, because that's kind of the situation I'm in right now. So that's exactly what I'm doing, because I want to follow this product as it gets updates, and I want to actually use it too, you know, to see if it can hold up and kind of see what the pros and cons are. Maybe revisit it in some time. But that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, you called it out. That's exactly why I racked it. That's exactly why I spent the time shifting stuff around in my home lab. And I got to prepare for my home lab tour. That's coming up. It's every year at the end of the year. And so I know next month is November, and I know it's coming after that. So I got to get my stuff together and make it look good for y'all. All right, y'all. A lot of y'all's coming out. Been pretty far south the last couple of days. Anyways, hey, y'all, I'll say it again. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, there we go. Just a thought, but have noticed that OS itself isn't read often actual use. I think this is you guys going back and forth, and I clicked on something. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, for talking, for being here. I really appreciate I appreciate you guys being here, first and foremost. If no one was here, I would be talking to myself like it used to be a long time ago on Twitch. So I appreciate you showing up and sharing what you're working on, because that gives me ideas, gives me things to talk about, but it also helps me, you know, get perspective and have my finger on the pulse of what y'all are working on and what's important to you. So, or it gives me lots of ideas too. I'm not going to lie. It gives me lots of ideas of things to either talk about in future streams or make videos about. So I appreciate all the things that you put in chat. So, and then also there were subs, there were resubs, there were long subs, there were bits, there were lots of follows. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All of that helps go back into making this channel better. Like my trip out to Cerro Gordo. 100% paid by me, which is actually by you, by the things you guys support me with, like even watching my videos, ad revenue. So that whole trip like wouldn't have happened without you guys. So I really appreciate it. So anyways, I will be in Discord if you need me. Ping me on Discord. I don't mind pings if you have something you want to share. And that's a good segue into, hey, you should join our Discord. We have a Discord full of, I don't know, 10,000 people. I think we're there. We might be there. Dude, Mob Farmer. Dude, thank you so much. Dude, you gifted a tier 1 sub to Martin La Rosa. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mob Farmer, I appreciate it. So Martin La Rosa. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Enjoy your gifted sub. But going back to Discord, we have a Discord full of about 10,000 people. Yeah, thank you so much. The absolute value, thank you so much. Exclamation Discord will tell you where it is and how to get to it. If you ever forget, just Google like Techno Tim Discord. It's a partner Discord and where a lot of people are, and we talk about all kinds of stuff like we were talking about earlier, operating systems. We have network channels. We have lots of channels about a lot of different topics. So love for you to join. Super laid back, easygoing, low ping. So other than that, like I said, I'll be on Discord. If you need something, ping me. I'll be on X. I'll be everywhere else. If you want to do it somewhere more public and you don't want to use Discord, I get it. And I will be back here next Saturday. And hopefully I'll have something out for you this week. It's a little bit different, but it was fun for me to do. So anyways, thank you so much, guys. Like, it's pretty awesome that, I don't know, I get to like come on here and talk to people about homelab stuff. And I get to like put up cool lights and I don't know. It's just, it's pretty cool. I just had a moment where I was like, man, this is pretty awesome. I'm like going to tear up, but no, I appreciate you guys being here. And, I don't know, help me get to this point. I really appreciate it. So anyways, have a great Saturday. Great Saturday. I will be in Discord if you need me. And take care, folks. Be good to each other. Take care.